according to you, there are different levels of concentration and different levels of taking back the mind to its original state. So these sutras define these different kind of samadhis. I will first give you an overview of all these types, and then we will cover sutra after sutra. So samadhi is essentially stopping the vrittis. This is what is known as concentration. Concentration means not allowing too many vrittis in the mind. Actual samadhi begins when you strike down the tamasic vrittis and rajasic vrittis. Mind it, even in tamasic vritti you may have focus, but that will not be samadhi. Even in rajasic you may have focus. So for example, somebody is obsessed. Somebody is obsessed with a female. Somebody is obsessed, for example, China is obsessed with this expansionist regime. Now that's not samadhi. Someone who is obsessed with getting something, that is also some kind of concentration, but it's not samadhi. To be samadhi, mind has to be pure. Unless the mind is pure, unselfish, established in vairagya, and through practice of long years, only then it can be termed samadhi. Now, yoga classifies samadhi into two. First one is known as sampragyata samadhi. Second one is known as asampragyata samadhi. Sampragyata itself has come from gya. Gya dhatu. Gya means to know. So, sampragyata, the kind of samadhi, type of samadhi where you know. You know what? You know the prakriti. See, the entire universe is the spread of prakriti. Of course, it's a very small part of prakriti because prakriti is infinite as Purusha is infinite. So, prakriti has so much within it that it can go on creating empire after empire. This universe, what we see, is just a small part of the prakriti. Now, when you know prakriti, when you are so focused, when you are so concentrated that you know prakriti, and actually see whatever little knowledge that we have, now many of you who are listening, you might be engineers and you might be doctors, you might have different kind of achievements, and some of my friends are listening to this who are great achievers in life. All this achievement came to you how? Through concentration. Different kinds of concentration. And those concentration gave you knowledge. Now, when this concentration becomes very special, it reveals deeper secrets of Prakriti. And all these different layers, they are known as Sampragyata. It's a category of Sampragyata Samadhi. Now, Sampragyata Samadhi again has 4 different categories. Of that, 2 of them have another 2 categories. These are technical things, but it's very interesting. Now, first, now think of how exactly concentration takes place. Now, let's think of this pen, or think of a rose, or think of any object. And you are thinking of it. For example, Einstein was working on a problem, and he was thinking of one particular problem, and on that problem he had put his entire mind. There was Newton. He was working on a problem. He was thinking, what exactly is making all these things, sun and moon and everything, move? And then an April fall, and suddenly all his ideas and everything that was there in his mind concerning these things fell into place. And he realized that it's the same force that makes everything move. So here is this pen, and you concentrate on this pen. When you concentrate on this pen, and all other ideas are dead, and this concentration is conscious struggle in which there is no tamasic vritti. That means you are not lazy, you are not deluded, and you are not aggressive. Nor it is a rajasic vritti. I want to be the best. I want to be the conqueror. No. You are obsessed with it. No. No scientist can ever succeed if he is obsessed. In fact, most scientists are obsessed, and that's why they are not gaining knowledge. If you look at the history of science, you will find that maximum knowledge has come to humanity from those scientists who were totally dedicated to knowledge. They were not about getting money. So when there is sattvic vritti and you're thinking on this pen, and this pen reveals its knowledge, an object has to reveal its knowledge. This is known as savitarka samadhi. Vitarka means question. You are questioning this pen. So this is savitarka samadhi. Now when you think of pen, which is not in time and space. Now this pen is fixed in time and space. Now you think of pen which is beyond time and only pen, beyond time and space. Now naturally that pen would be the mother of all pains. This is now known as nirvitarka. It's without any question. That is, the limitations imposed on this pen is gone. With knowledge comes power. Knowledge is power. Once you gain the power of this knowledge, all its secrets are revealed. The great poets, the great scientists, great artists, they all have savitarka samadhi. Unless they can go in savitarka samadhi, they really cannot write very good poetry. Any good author, he has to be in savitarka samadhi. Otherwise, he cannot write really great things. And scientists can never know the secret of anything unless they get into savitarka samadhi. And if they can go to nirvitarka samadhi, they will be the masters. Because, Orhan Pamuk, he wrote beautiful novel, My Name is Red. And there he is talking about the general and the special. This pen is actually a special pen, which is a copy of the general pen. General pen, sometimes you might have seen graphic designers who draw certain things which represent something. For example, you will see Gandhiji's face, just kind of around his face and specs, and you realize it's Gandhiji, because that is the generic design of Gandhiji's face. And then after that, you can just go on adding things, and whatever you may add, it will continue to be Gandhiji's face. So Gandhiji's face beyond time and space is one of those graphic design from which you can make out that this is Gandhiji. And most cartoonists, they can draw in such a way that you can make out, okay, it is this person. Nirvitarka samadhi is something like that. When you can concentrate on pen, which is beyond time and space, you are now master of pen. You are completely master of pen. And no pen. It's not about pen, it's about anything. If you are focusing only on human being, even then it will be the same. If you can think of the original prototype of man, then you will not be attracted towards any person. Why you are attracted towards a person? A female is attracted towards a male and male is attracted towards a female. Why? Because you are seeing the special. You have not learned to see the general. When the Christians talk about, say, Adam and Eve, they're talking about the generic thing. All the medicines that we have, they are special medicines. And now the government has made it mandatory to go for generic drugs. Generic drug is that from which all the particular drugs come out. So there is the general and particular or special, whatever. And earlier we had discussed how everything in this world is made of Panchatanmatra. Why Panchatanmatra? Because we have 5 senses and we can gather things from through those 5 senses. So whether it be hydrogen or oxygen or helium or argon, these things do not matter with us. Whatever the atom in the entire periodic table and whatever their combinations will be known by us through our 5 senses, hence the 5 tanmatras. So now this pen is definitely composed of these 5 tanmatras. Now instead of focusing on the pen, now you go to its constituent matter, which is 5 tanmatras. And a different kind of samadhi comes, which is known as savichar. In savichar, what happens? They say that vichar is thought, and thought are sukshma, subtle. And because they are subtle, they represent tanmatras, which give birth to objects. So we have basically objects, and we have the constituent matter of those objects. When you are focusing on the 5 constituent of that object on which you were meditating, you get savichar samadhi. And then same thing, you have to think of those tanmatras beyond time and space. And then you get nirvichar samadhi. So we have discussed 4 kinds of samadhi. And once a person attains any of these samadhis, first will come savitark, then will come nirvitark, then will come savichar, then will come nirvichar. You get the relative powers. And most of the Mahatmas that you see in the world who are very famous, most of them are actually see, I don't mean to undermine anyone. They are all stuck up with savitark. They can't even go to nirvitark. So he will say, what about I follow bhakti path? In bhakti path also exactly the same thing happens. When you are meditating on your Ishta, and when you are thinking of your Lord as living, not as photograph, not as an idol, not as a statue, but as living, you are actually into savitarka samadhi. And when you can think of Lord beyond all this, it becomes nirvitarka samadhi. And then you go deeper, deeper and deeper. If you are following, say, path of jnana, aham brahmasmi, same thing happens. See, every mind, whatever your path, what about the Islamic sadhaka, Sufi saints? Same, they will have to go through this path. What about the Christians and Buddhists? In fact, the entire Buddhist sadhana is based on Raj Yoga. Buddhistic meditation and all these, no, there are many popular kind of this upasana. Let's not name them, but they all follow this. And in most cases, they can't even reach savitarka. Why? They end up discussing only abhyas and vairagya. So when you go for some of these sessions that they have, they invite you for a 10-day program, the 7 days program. They say that now you come stay with us. And what they do is they just make you established in vairagya. And there is no happiness than vairagya. All our suffering is because we are attached. And once you decide to go for that camp, to go for that program, now you are into vairagya. And because you are in vairagya, you feel so happy. You have said bye to your family members so they don't miss you. And now you are vairagya, now you are free. You are carrying excess baggage on yourself. That baggage is gone. Naturally, you will feel happy. It's the joy of the free. But you should become great. You don't become great because you have not entered even savitark. What to say of higher things? And what happens when you gain this nirvichar samadhi, or even say savichar samadhi? If you have nirvichar samadhi, the practical, if this is a pen, you can convert it into a flower, because the constituent matters of this pen are same as of a flower. Because you have conquered the tanmatras. Because knowledge is power. If you know, if you have attained that samadhi based on the tanmatras, you have conquered the tanmatras, and you can create anything from anything. And this is what the yogis do. If they are real yogis, you give them, they are not magicians, mind it, they are not magicians. They have that power, but they will not show that power to you. They will take up this pen and say, tell me what you want it to be. You know that you might have heard of the famous story of Jesus when he turned when he turned the stone into bread and water into wine. How could he? He was mastered, not because of God. You see, normally we will actually use such a miracle. Miracle is not something very big. If you can have a very ordinary level of Samadhi. Now you may ask me, Swami, you are telling ordinary level of Samadhi. Have you attained? No, I have not. Very clear. But actually, from the standpoint of Samadhi, it's very ordinary. Converting stone into bread is a very ordinary thing, because it is one of the lowest level of Samadhi. A person who has very low level of Samadhi, even he can do it. Reason being, the way you have, say, rice and salt and some spices and something, you can make different kinds of preparations. If you have just milk and sugar, you can make different kinds of sweets out of them. Just like that. You have conquered that. You are at the storehouse. You are in the kitchen. Now you can prepare anything you want. It actually happens. And from there comes the next higher stage is, you remember, there are objects and they are composed of the tanmatras. And these, when this message comes, it comes to our indriyas, organs. From the external, now it has gone internal. Once you can conquer the indriyas, the receiving instruments. These receiving instruments, these indriyas, they are in the chitta. And we remember we had discussed the constituents of mind there. We had types, the 4 functions of mind: chitta, man, buddhi, ahankar. Chitta, the receiving aspect of mind. Once you can meditate on that and concentrate on that, leaving everything else, forgetting everything else, you have conquered your mind. Now you don't even have to take this pen and convert it into a flower. You will just say flower and there will be flower. You have conquered mind. It can create anything. And it's known as sananda, anand, because joy comes to us, pleasure comes to us from the indriyas. The senses give us joy. Joy comes from the senses. Happiness comes from the senses. So they use the term ananda. And this is the 5th kind of samadhi. And from there we move over to the 6th. Sasmita. So it is, here it will say vitarka vichar ananda asmita. Anugamat sampragyata. Sampragyata samadhi is 4 kinds. Of these, the first 2 are again bound in time and space and beyond time and space. Sasmita is the junction of Purusha and Prakriti. We had initially mentioned how Purusha and Prakriti come near and there is a junction. This junction is known as Asmita, sense of ego, sense of I-ness. Once you focus on this I-ness, Prakriti reveals itself, because Purusha and Prakriti have been joined. This is your ego. And if you get samadhi there, total concentration, the entire thing is lost. Only one thing remains: junction of Purusha, consciousness, and the insentient. If you can conquer that, you become master of the universe. So all these belong to Sampragyata Samadhi, where you are gaining knowledge of the universe, the various kinds of knowledge. And because of knowledge, you are gaining power. It says that if you can attain this stage, Sasmita, which is ultimately Sampragyata. Sampragyata, all these things belong to Sampragyata. Highest Sampragyata is Sasmita. So you become Videha, like Janak was Videha. You realize that you don't have gross body and you will not be born in gross body. You can become a god. You can become Prakriti-Lin. There are different words for it. And this again is of 2 kinds. One which is attained by the sages, another by the gods. It's known as Upaya Pratyaya and Bhava Pratyaya. These are the technical terms, but very interesting. Now, problem with Sampragyata Samadhi is that even if you become a god, or even Upaya Pratyaya, you become the greatest of sage, you become Prakriti-Lin, master of the entire Prakriti. You don't even to wish, you're master of creation. No, you don't have to go on creating flowers and pens and that. You can create entire universe by your mere will, because now you're one with the Prakriti. The cosmic energy that is there, you have become one with it. You can do anything now. But you can also fall down from that state. You know, there's this beautiful story which all of you in your childhood might have read or heard. Betal Pachisi. Vikramaditya and Betal. So Vikramaditya was a king who was tasked with carrying a corpse. And there was a goblin in that corpse, Betal. On way, the Betal would tell a story and then ask him a question. Vikramaditya was supposed to be to keep his mouth shut, but he didn't keep his mouth shut. The moment he opened his mouth, the corpse would fly back, and he would go back. Earlier in Chandamama, these stories used to come, and it was a never-ending story. I was so fascinated. The story was so fascinating. The problem with Sampragyata Samadhi is that the thoughts of the world will touch you and the corpse will fly away. Your mind will come back. So initially, it's not that you will be born as an ordinary being. You might be born as a very rich person, very famous person. Like we believe that those who are very handsome to look, very beautiful to look, those who are extremely intelligent, those who are very rich, normally they are coming from the higher planes. We Hindus believe it firmly. So they definitely had one of these kinds of samadhi from where they came. So the Sampragyata Samadhi, which has these 6 categories, and again Sampragyata Samadhi itself is of 2 types, which we will discuss again, says that there is knowledge and there is a higher one, which is Asampragyata, where you go beyond knowledge. You begin with ignorance. For example, we all are ignorant. Once we go into the state of samadhi, we start gaining knowledge and we start getting power over the various aspects of Prakriti. So from ignorance, we move over to knowledge. And from knowledge, we move over to beyond knowledge. You go beyond knowledge. You go beyond ignorance. You go beyond every duality. Then you realize that there was never birth for you, never death for you. There was never happiness, never misery. And when you were thinking that you are involved with this world, you were actually never involved. It was like scenes moving in front of you and you getting identified. This is Asampragyata Samadhi.